ones that were good, solid on, things like that. So, Devin, what were some of just the overall trends that you noticed?
Okay, looking at this right now, I know on specifically question 15, which was talking about topographical maps, my students overall, 19% of them got it correct. However, I'm not like super scared about this data because if we look at when we took this test, it was before spring break. I didn't even teach topographical maps until probably about 2 months later. So I'm sure if we were to retake that question and expose it to them now, it would be a completely different result. But also, the interesting concept is that even though I was 19%, our entire campus breakdown of that question was only about 18% correct. So I think we're all on trend with that. I don't know if anyone else notices that similar trend.
I had the exact same results. I pulled mine by class, so when I look at that, it was 8.9C.
Yeah.
For the thing. Most all of my kids missed it.
Yeah.
Missed it. But again, it was, I felt the same way. Like it was, we hadn't taught it yet. It was right before we took, like 2 weeks before we took the teaching of it is when we took the test. So
Yes.
therefore, if we expose it to them again,
They would probably do fine.
yeah, I feel like they would be fine with it. Although I do have it on my list of ones that I want to review
Yeah.
when we do a
Just
set
to
of,
make sure
Yes.
that what we've got's
Yeah.
right.
Of course.
yeah. Not that it's just my hunch or my, oh, I'm so smart in my idea. But that I mean, yeah, we definitely want to just double check like, hey, you guys did get that right. Like,
That
so
was
I have the same ones, but even by class, all of my classes. In each class, I maybe had 5 or 6 kids that got it. But out of a class of 25, 20, almost every class period would miss it.
But I think I had maybe, I had 4% because you guys know that I teach I have the co-teach classes, and so all of that data's in there. They don't really pull that out or differentiate that anyhow. But
Not on these reports.
But I figured some of what I've seen in mine is kind of, it may be quite a bit lower, but the trends themselves are still the same.
Yeah.
So is that what you feel like yours feels?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like it follows campus?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, follows the campus, follows each other, and I think, like I said, because of when the timing of the interim star was versus when we taught it, I think that kind of explains it. But again, just to verify, like, I do want to add it to our list of we're going to review.
So other than the 8.9C being the lowest, what were some of the other challenge areas?
I had 4 more teaks that when I pulled the data to look at. Okay, so
I have the takes right here if we want to specifically go over what they're.
so 8.5 C and D were the periodic table and formulas.
C.
So C was a challenge
C
for
is
mine.
periodic
C was a
table.
challenge for me. D was 8.5D was not the worst. I still got
It
about
was
Middle of the road
77%.
for me.
Yeah.
it was about middle of the road for me too. But I thought because they kind of go hand in hand,
Yeah.
we should definitely kind of look at doing those again.
Of course.
So, but yeah, 8.5C periodic table was one. Did you have another one?
Oh, I had 28% get that. 8.7C, which was number 28, 42% of my kiddos got it right. But looking at our campus average, it was about 38% of our kids overall got it right.
Right.
But if we want to look at the bright side, our district percentage that got it right was 36%.
So we're still
yeah.
doing, yeah.
we're still above
That was
district.
that was one of my lower ones. It's one that it's actually the next lowest, the 8.7C periodic table. So it's definitely one that I wanted to hit again. I think some of the other ones that my kids struggled with, or have them here. So 8.9C, the topographic maps was the worst, and then moving up, 8.7C, which was the moon positions as it relates to tides.
Yes, I had that too.
So that's,
On
Yes.
almost all of my classes except one.
Mhm.
So I don't know what I did different in that one class. No, 2 classes, sorry.
For
2
those of
classes
you-
did great. And I was like,
Did
so
those
how
have any of your remote kids?
one class is my remote class.
Okay.
The other class was my in-person class though, so,
Well, maybe
but it was both first period, my co-seat class.
Oh, it's a co-seat class.
So my co-seat class did fine.
Well, maybe it was
I
some
don't know what
kind of
something I
technology
said.
that you used.
I sort of, I don't know.
I'll have to go back and look.
I'll have to go back and look at that one, but they did really well on that one, but the other classes were in the same boat, like that was one that was,
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
gonna have to
little
look at
iffy.
that one again.
Yeah. Then 7.5B, which was the food webs. They challenged that, but for me anyway, that one was a huge discrepancy. As
Okay.
where like they
Yeah.
kind of followed the trends. That one was just
Was
did
it just
not
for one
get-
class or for all of them?
For all of them. They a lot of kids. I only had 24%. Campus was 50, so I'm half.
Yeah.
But I think it's that they're on the level where they think the arrow for a food web means
Yes.
you eat this one. No, it's the energy.
Opposite.
Okay.
So I know, because we're covering that now, so that will be
Yeah.
one that I need to do some
Just
work
kind of
on.
check. And I didn't have any issues with those, ecology questions and all, like they were
Yeah.
all really on track and point for my kids, but,
So the,
what was interesting was if I did have a kid have a struggle with the ecology, they missed like all of them.
so it was a
like,
big struggle.
Yeah.
So it was like they, you know,
That's
not
good
did
to
they
know.
just miss some, but they missed every one of them. Like, you know, if they were missing one, it was more like,
Okay.
so otherwise they were usually not having an
Yeah,
issue.
the organisms and environments was the top scorer for my classes overall.
Okay.
That's also the only teak, the ecology teak is the only one that goes from kindergarten to us.
Okay.
That actually spirals each year, so
Okay.
they have more background information to pull from that, for that one. So I don't have that one on my list to even go over, but I mean, if we need to differentiate for classes, you might need to pull it for your class or something. We'll have a couple of days, I think, built in on our calendar to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were some of our strengths that we saw? Or at least maybe personally and then maybe overall.
I think personally, that ecology unit, 8.11, ABC, all
Mhm.
of those, phew, I mean, I have almost 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%.
Mhm.
And I looked at where my kids were failing the 0%, you know, but, yeah, so that was one of my biggest strength areas. The other one I thought that really was the periodic table, but not the, it was the 8.5A.
Okay, so my kids didn't do too bad on that one. What was that one?
That's atom structure, atomic structure.
Okay.
Okay.
Like protons, neutrons, where are they, positive, negatives, or,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
it's that teak.
Okay.
And so mine did really, really good on that, but we drew pictures and
Did a lot of work on that.
a lot of work on that. I think with just warm-ups, I did warm-ups all the time, and so I think that's one reason why it was such a good kind of a stretch for that one.
Nice.
I think also, we teach different kids.
Yep.
So my kids, a lot of them are in the algebra group. So the other one that I had that was pretty strong was the 8.6A, which is speed, velocity, acceleration, and like the formulas.
Oh, yeah.
So my kids are already,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they practice
Manipulating
it.
with math.
Yeah.
Whereas most of them still haven't, like, it's still developing that brain concept for them, so,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So those are my
So the
two
funny thing
strong
is-
ones, but
Yeah, my strongest was ecology, and then actually physics was the next
Yeah.
one I found. I don't know why. That, to me, that's the most abstract. Then chemistry, and they struggled the most with space.
yes.
Yeah, I didn't have any highs in Earth and space. My actual highest, where 99% of my kids got it right, was 6.8D, which is the graphing of speed motion charts.
Yes.
They killed it on that one. Yeah, 6.8D.
That was a top one of mine. I do
Yeah.
find that surprising, because
Mhm.
anytime that we presented, at least when I did in class,
Mm-hmm.
these graphs, they had no idea.
No.
I wish I would've spent more time on it, but now I'm glad that I didn't need to.
Maybe that was because they did struggle, maybe then they were, I don't know, you
Remember?
know, like maybe,
Mhm.
yeah, like maybe they, like that was part of that teaching piece of like, you did a good job because then they remembered it when they got to the test, or they kinda could apply it once they got to the
Mhm.
test.
But that's a sixth grade teak, so that one was odd.
Yeah.
So,
I like looking at our data, I think it's fun to kind of look at. So I pulled out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teaks that I want us, or I want my class to do.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
for when we start looking at
For
our
what-
dates and things.
Yeah.
okay, so, well, what teaks did you have? And I bet they probably match up with the ones that we wanna go over.
Yeah, I pretty much stayed with our eighth grade ones, although the supporting ones we'll have to look at too, to
Mhm.
like kind of go over. But, I have 8.9C, the topographic map one,
Yes.
and again, just cause I wanna, to look at that. 8.8A, that's electromagnetic spectrum waves, and space, it's the space one.
Space, okay.
Mhm. I have 8.7C, which is revolution rotation, again, kind
Mhm.
of space, Earth's.
That's one that I have. that they-
8.7?
Yep.
And I have the Newton's laws one, so in physics, the one that they struggled with for me was 8.6C.
It's on mine.
And I have periodic table 8.5C and 8.5D for the formulas, equations,
5C and D.
Z and D,
Okay.
8.5C and 8. So those are the only ones I wanted to go with.
Okay, cause I think I have
How about you guys?
So yes to 8.9, so we're all,
So you
So
check
we-
yours
yeah.
and I'll check them too, and then we can.
so mine are, I did just my top 5, the
Okay.
5 struggles. So 8.9C, 8.7C, 7.5B, but that was also, I'm not sure when they taught that, if that was during
Is
our
it-
extended spring
a
break.
7.5 is 7.5B is demonstrate and illustrate forces that affect motion in organisms such as emergence of seedlings, trigger pressure, geotrophism, and circulation of blood.
So physics,
Physics mixed with
chemistry, or
Or is that like
biology,
body systems?
Biology, body systems.
Okay.
kinda, yeah.
So that's probably one that I won't need,
No.
so we're just gonna let that
What's
one.
that,
And then 8.5,
7.5B.
yeah, then I have 8.5C, and I actually have
Yeah.
8.11A,
Me too.
was that carrying capacity.
Okay.
So those just might
Okay.
be
So
one of
we-
those
we
days.
have and yours were this, were you?
And the only additional one that I had was 8.7A, but that was also just because I didn't teach it before this. And that's the thing is that taught after.
That was a 8.9C.
8.7A was
Oh.
also it taught after.
Oh, okay.
So let's look at least for now, we'll just look at the 8.9C. What are some things that we did in class that we think might have worked, or what do we wanna change?
Yeah, I pulled this chart or
Okay.
graph for when we did it in class, and there's a video, it's like a PowerPoint that went with it.
Okay.
And so like I said, I really feel like, because we took the test first and then taught this,
Mhm.
I think that if we gave it to them now, they'll be fine, but that's what I did to kind of do the topographic map stuff.
Yeah.
We read and took notes, and then we did the practice of the PowerPoint where they had to map it out, like actually map it out.
Good.
And then we were pretty much done with that.
Okay, well, let's save ourselves some time, and do we wanna do just a quick, maybe like a, exit ticket? Just to kinda double check on this one to see,
Well, and I was thinking, okay, so when I looked at our dates that
Yeah.
we have available, we have essentially, after our test, we have 10 days. Leading up to our test, we have 10 days. So if we start after, the next Wednesday, the 21st.
Okay.
Then leading up to that's 10 days. So I thought we could do one day on the topographic map stuff. And I felt like one day on the 8.7A stuff.
yeah, that's fine.
Revolution rotation. But then for the physics and the chemistry, 2 days.
Yeah.
Each, so whatever time, and I had
Mhm.
3 total, so that was 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 of my days.
Mhm.
So that's kind of mapped mine out.
Okay.
Um,
I think they definitely need to review physics and chemistry regardless, so I think it's just gonna be a good reiteration for the kids that already know it, just a good refresher, and then maybe just using small groups or extra kind of little tidbits to help them get through it.
Sounds good. Okay, well then, next, I guess we can look at each of our own and start looking at who we need to pull out that's not going to benefit from kind of the whole group reteach, and then, we will go on from there.
yeah,
Close it up.
I need to.